last question. I'm asking everyone this question about disclosure. Are we close? And if we are and it happens, what will the world look like in your opinion?
I feel like it will. You know, this is too big a thing, and there's too many people know about it to really be kept quiet and secret for too much longer, I believe. Sooner or later, everybody's laundry's got to air. And even with politics, the way that they are, you know, if those idiots would all quit fighting each other and start getting along, we could be a lot better off, a lot further in this world.
Yeah.
But I think you know, the alien race is just like the races here on Earth. We got all different kind of races. We got Muslim, Buddhist, and you know, everything in here, and none of them get along too much, one religion with the other religion. But sooner or later, they're gonna have to come to terms with things. You got some good people, you got some bad people, and you got some pure damn mean people. And I think all the goods gonna come together before long.
Now, because of technology, everybody's got a cell phone, which they have the capability of shooting video, audio, photos. And so we're getting a lot more evidence coming in through cell phones, because before, you know, our evidence was, you know, people on vacation. They just happen to have a, you know, 8mm camera, or they have a, you know, box camera or something. But now everybody's got it, so they see something and, you know, off they go. Of course, we got the people out there faking evidence. But the thing is I think what's happening now is more and more people in the public are being more aware that there's other things, that something's going on out there, because it's just too hard to put under the carpet like they used to do. There was a National Disinformation Act years ago where, you know, the government was not allowed to lie to the American people, but if they told them a little tiny bit of truth, then they could tell them a lot of untruth and get away with not violating any policies here, you know. But the bottom line is we got more people out there now that are experiencing this, so there's a lot more communication now that we have, you know, the internet. You know, it's really easy for people to communicate in other countries, go back and forth with, you know, all the social media programs we have now. So it's really, really hard to to keep people from talking.
Well, my point of view is Robert Bigelow of Bigelow Aerospace. He told 60 Minutes 3 years ago, disclosure. That happened in the 1940s with the headline, Flying Saucer Crashes on the Ranch. We have been having disclosure around this planet with thousands of books, thousands of newspaper photos, all of it since World War II. What we are waiting for is official confirmation from the world governments to all of the people at the same time. We are not alone in this universe, and we never have been. And now we're going to have to change a lot of history books. We're going to have to change a lot of things, but it would be better now for all of you to get up to speed on what the truth is about our past, our present, and our future, than to continue going into the rest of the 21st century, perpetuating the lies that an increasingly large number of people on this planet in military and in science and the power brokers know. When they become the biggest island on Earth, those that know, then what does happen to those that have been kept in ignorance? That is the part that I do not think is fair. I feel a tremendous empathy with my fellow humans. I think that this is exactly the time when all of the truth should be told, the good, the bad, and the neutral, and go into the 21st century with everybody on Earth finding a reason for why it is important to study, for the world to be given more education, so that we can take people who have good brains in an island in the Philippines who do not have a chance to be working in computers or medicine unless somebody takes them. And that if we started making this whole planet come up to speed. Sorry, we didn't tell you everything before, but we didn't think that you could handle it. Now we have allies and we know that we're okay, and we're going to bring the planet up to the 22nd century with all of you.
Well, it looks like there's some of it going on now with, like the Times article from 2017, and the Nemitz and Princeton, the ships where they had UFOs on radar, and they had I think the Hornet aircraft go after them, and saw the Tic Tac object and all that. Mm-hmm. And then they're also showing some films that might show UFOs from the DIA. And so it looks like there's a tiny bit of disclosure going on now,
right,
which is good.
Well, I think disclosure happened when the New York Times printed the article about the Nimitz affair. And the Navy has gone on record, and they have said just about a month ago, they said, no, they are UFOs. We don't understand them, and this did happen. People just kind of went on, and it really didn't have an effect. And you still have skeptics, out there that, oh, it's not real. And I think that perhaps it's an inconvenient truth for some folks, and they would rather just forget about it and pretend like we're not being observed and visited. So I think that we do live in a post-disclosure world. This is it.
Well, I think we're never going to have a full disclosure. I got this book from Nick Dolan. Yep. Richard Dolan. 8 book. It's an amazing book. After this AD, after the disclosure, it's a great book. And he shows 3 options: a full disclosure, a half disclosure, and a lie disclosure. I believe that they're going to have is a half disclosure. They never gonna do a full disclosure, because if they do so, they will have to admit that they have been lying for decades.
Yep.
And what they're gonna say to those people that they accuse it to say that you are a liar, you're a mental illness, something like that, and the people lost jobs, lost families, lost their lives. Mm-hmm. For a lie, a bigger lie. So I think that they're going to be a medium, a half disclosure. Well, from this point forward, we can say that we have been visited. We can say what's going on, but that point back, they will not tell that was true. They cannot say that. There's no way.
Of course, we want our governments to be transparent about this, but let's take a look on the flip side of that real quick. So our whole lives, and our parents' whole lives, and their parents' whole lives, most of us it's been beat into our brain that, look, there's a heaven and a hell, and this is the way you need to be, what type of person you need to be, otherwise you're going to go to hell. So is that some sort of mind control that somebody put out there many, many years ago to control the masses? I don't know. Think about the government, for example. Knowing what we know about religion and what most people believe anyway, of some sort, if they came out and said, okay, there's little green men and they're coming from this planet and they've been visiting us for thousands of years, some people could not handle it. They would flip out. There might be some short-time anarchy, but I think as they trickle out this information, it's become more of pop culture now. It's more under, with all the movies, Hollywood and everything else. I think people would react a lot different nowadays, say, versus the 50s. Of course, there's going to be some people that just can't handle it, and flip out. But, maybe the government was taking that side of it. Who knows? Or there is a great deal of technology possibly to be gained. And if they have a deal with these aliens, like some people think, or if they're jockeying to try to get this technology, because we all know, every country wants that technology to be the supreme technological advanced country on this planet. So, there's a lot of different aspects involved here with that.
I know the government NASA has already funded a $1.2 million study on this back in 2012 on how society would handle it, and especially the religious communities. I have the documents of that contract that went out by NASA, and I found it interesting that they would be asking the question for research sake. And I think it's because they're looking to disclose it and they don't know if it's time yet. And so they've already put it out to others to do the research for them, and unfortunately I don't know what the results were. The post-disclosure is going to be both religious and economic in grandeur, only because I think people are going to have to do a whole lot of soul searching within the religious structures that we've grown up with on this planet to try to incorporate a life that was never written about. Well, I should say never written about. Revelations 12:12 has a passage in it that I now read and realize God may be talking about others living beyond us. But it's a paradigm shift that is so massive that it will cause a lot of strife. And as soon as you put it out that, oh, by the way, we've been getting help from ETs, and oh, by the way, we have 0-point energy, we never needed fossil fuels after all. The secondary anger that may come with that from a people deceived on this planet. We've been struggling so hard to keep our planet maintained at a decent level, and in the knowledge that we didn't have to be fighting ourselves this whole time will be a struggle.
I think the world will be in a much better place once that happens, and then everybody will realize there's much more than just this beautiful oasis we call Earth, that others need us and we need them. And that's just an opinion I've had for a very long time. We're going to be much better off.
You don't think there'll be chaos everywhere, like the people in power tell us that it's the reason why they can't confirm this, because people can't handle it?
There's going to be a little bit of chaos to begin with, but once we realize there's nothing we can do about it, we're going to have to accept it, and it's a part of what we're going to do, and then they're going to show us it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. There are protectors too. We've got bad guys here. There are some bad guys out there, but I think basically the good guys are going to win on both sides.